To be the best, you have to beat the best. Or so they say. Welcome back, everyone, to the Minnesota Twins franchise. We have a good one on tap here tonight. We are in L.A., taking on the 20-10 L.A. Dodgers. You saw from the numbers there, Pablo Lopez will take the mound. He will face off against Shohei Ohtani. Here we are in the top of the first. A 1-2 count to Trevor Larnach. And, of course, the 99-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs going to strike out Trevor Larnach. 1-2 pitch here to Buxton, and honestly, it was a little too close to call. Got a swing at it. If he had challenged, ABS would have given him the ball call. 1-2 pitch. Royce Lewis strikes out. So a 1-2-3 inning for Ohtani, all via the strikeout. Twins offense not off to a great start. Ohtani looks like he's got something cooking here early in this one. Pablo Lopez, like I mentioned, will counter him. He's got a 1.70 ERA in the American League. He is second amongst qualified pitchers in that category. Looking to shut down this tough Dodgers lineup. So far, so good. Ohtani and Kyle Tucker. They'll be out via the line drive and the ground out. 1-0 pitch now to Max Muncy. Always got to be careful with this guy. I think if you're Max Muncy, you can eliminate a lot of pitches and locations. Honestly, if I were him, I'd be looking away every single time. That's where Lopez threw him, and he ended up grounding out pretty hard, I should say. All right, top of the second, 0-0 pitch. First to Paul DeJong. How about Paul DeGong? Goodbye, baseball. See you later. How far was that? 404 in the upper 400s. That's a nice shot off of Ohtani. Of course, he's a little disappointed. That's okay, though. You're the Dodgers. You can make that up in one inning. How about 3-1 pitch here to Brooks Lee? That will be a walk. Okay, so first inning for Ohtani went pretty smooth. 3 up, 3 strikeouts. And then now in the second, facing a little bit of trouble. Luke Keyshaw going to strike out here at a nasty little sweeper slider mix. We got Walker Jenkins base hit up the middle. And we're actually going to test it here. I don't know about this. Brooks Lee. Oh, no. Little mistake there from Brooks Lee. Maybe just a little too aggressive on the base pads. I'm sure the third base coach was trying to make something happen there. Aedes Castro, our first baseman rookie, grounds out up the middle. Second baseman making that play. Let's jump now to the bottom of the second. We got a 1-2 pitch here to former Twin Matt Wallner. You guys remember that we traded Matt Wallner last season to the Dodgers for a pretty nice haul back. Edgardo Henriquez, who's now our closer, and a prospect, Kendall George, who's currently still down in the minor leagues, just really trying to work on his hitting. Defense and speed, pretty good, like it. He's got that working for him, but hitting, it's another separate issue. Line drive out there to center, little twirly ball out there, little knuckle to Byron Buxton, but he's got that one handled. Let's now jump to the top of the third. Second pitch of the at-bat, Victor Caratini. Goodbye, baseball. 430-foot bomb. Twins busting out the long ball here against Ohtani. It's already a 2-0 ball game. If we can now continue to get some good innings from Pablo Lopez, really shut down this Dodgers lineup, I think we're smooth sailing here. Perfect with Trevor Larnach. Oh my. Ohtani might get chased here pretty soon. How about Byron Buxton? Deep drive to left. Does that have enough carry to it? No, just a couple steps short of the warning track. Fortunately, that's not going to extend it up to 4-0. How about Royce Lewis? Deep drive to right. That's about medium depth. We're going to test the arm out there of Matt Wallner. Of course, he's a good fielder out there. Got a strong arm. Not truly testing it, just see if the throw was offline, in which it wasn't. Top third here, still 2 down. Paul DeJong stepping up. Going to be first pitch hacking. He is! Oh my goodness! 2-run homer for Paul DeJong. 421 into the bullpen. DeJong's second homer of the game. You know, it was funny because I honestly thought about pulling him from this game in the starting lineup. We got a notification from the coach saying, the hitting coach is like, he hasn't hit right-handers very well. He's like hitting under 200 all year long against righties. I'm like, let's start him against Shohei Ohtani. Let's do it. And now he's got 2 home runs. Speaking of Ohtani, I have no idea what that swing was. That's crazy. Ohtani, you never see him taking those kind of swings. I mean, the bat wasn't even close to where the pitch was located, so it's a little concerning. Something might be wrong with Shohei. Either way, Pablo Lopez shutting this Dodger lineup down. 1-2 pitch here to Freddie Freeman. That's a ground ball to Castro. He's got this one. That'll be 2 outs here in the 5th. Next batter up in a 1-1 pitch. 1-1 count. Mookie Betts looking to do some damage, and not so much. Ground ball here to Lewis. Makes the play at first, and we're out of the 5th inning. Twins offense can't do much in their top half of the order. So let's now go to the 6th inning. Look at those numbers. Pablo Lopez, 5 innings, 1 hit, couple strikeouts. He has been looking dominant thus far. Andy Pages, goodbye. That curveball has been nasty all game long. 5th strikeout of the game. 1-2 pitch upcoming to Tommy Edman. Here it comes. Strike 3. Fastball high and inside. He can't handle it. 6th strikeout for Lopez. And against this Dodger lineup, that is an accomplishment, especially this late in the game. And to be shutting him out, that's a whole nother story. First pitch to Shohei. Foul ball. Second pitch to Shohei. Curveball. Foul ball. What are we going to dial up here? 0-2 count. Changeup again. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with Shohei Ohtani, but he's out on 3 pitches, and that changeup wasn't even close. It's the 2nd time now that we've got him on that change, and it hasn't been close. Tanner Scott will come in here in the 7th. Twins still can't get any insurance runs. And we'll now jump to the bottom of the 7th with Lopez still out there. That pitch count is looking mighty fine. 72nd pitch there, striking out Kyle Tucker. We've also got a 2-2 count here on Max Muncy. That is a line drive to left. Larnach's got that one. And it'll be 2 outs here in the 7th. Matt Wallner in a full count. Wallner will draw the walk. And the gears are starting to turn a little bit. Maybe we got to think about possibly getting Pablo out of this game. Here's a little wild pitch there. I think that's what they're going to rule it. Wallner's going to get down to 2nd. Yep, wild pitch is what they're going to rule it. And now Will Smith has a chance to get LA back in this game. 3-1 pitch, a curveball, foul. He pulled that one hard. I probably don't want to go with a curveball again, but we do have 1 bear down left to go, and I think that is the perfect time to use it. And we're going to go change up. 3-2 change. That is a 1-hopper, perfectly positioned Luke Keeschall. That is it for the 7th. Great job by Pablo Lopez. Let's go to the top of the 8th. We got Evan Phillips taking on Brooks Lee. 2-2 pitch upcoming, and it's right down the middle. Go! Get up! Get some legs! It's gone. 4-12 for Brooks Lee, a line drive home run. It'll be 5-0 Twinkies. Man, we just came into LA. We came into Dodger Stadium and we said, this is our series. This is our game. You guys can't handle us. The pitching staff has been so good. The bullpen has been so good. Max Muncy grounds out to Castro. That is it. Brooks Raley comes in, shuts it down. We didn't even need to get Henriquez in the game. It's not a save situation. But I'm really impressed with this Twins team right now. Yes, I know that we're only a couple games over 500 and disaster may strike at any point. But to come in against Shohei Ohtani and against this offense, to do what we did in this one, that's pretty darn impressive. So we'll finish out the month of April with a shutout victory. There's a screenshot of our month of May. And as you guys know, I like to do a lot of simulation in our franchises just so we can kind of keep the ball moving, keep our season moving and progressing along. And I'll give you guys an update on how that we're doing in sim and maybe get some critical moments in the mix there too. But as we advance, we start to do more scouting, start to get to know our players and our draft board a little bit better. We're currently in week 8 of 14. We're still above 500. We're playing really, really well. We're at 29-22, so 7 games above 500. This is a good spot to be. Very early, that's a really good spot to be, especially when you can win series. You can get on a couple winning streaks there too. Like, you're always going to be above 500, which is exactly what we want. Now, as we slow scroll with our draft board here, I'm really focusing on outfielders at this point in time. Like, I think later on in the scouting process, we'll look at some infielders because there's a lot less of them, like shortstops and third basemen. But I think a lot of what we need in this team, we need a little bit more athleticism. We do have a lot of really good outfield prospects, but they're kind of all coming up. So really the goal for me here is just to discover the next best outfield prospect in our system. Like, that's what we really want. So heading into this critical situation here as we continue to simulate the month of May, we have a 2-out, 0-2 count to Johnny DeLuca against the Guardians, another interdivisional opponent, and Henriquez comes through with that nasty slider. Could have thrown him the fastball, but he might have been looking for that. That is Henriquez's best pitch, so why not just tempt him with a little slide piece? And to get the K like that and get the win, money, money, money. So we're now officially 7 games above 500 at 32-25. But unfortunately for us, the White Sox are hot on our tail. It's crazy. We can't seem to separate ourselves from these guys. We're currently tied in the AL Central. They're getting some nice series wins as well. And we're going to keep on simming to end out the month of May. We also have a trade. Shea Langoliers, Mr. Bangoliers, going to go to the Cubs from the Athletics for a pretty decent haul. I really don't have any qualms or issues with that trade. Actually, we have 2 more days in the month of May that we will simulate, and I'll give you guys an update with some of our numbers and our statistics across our organization. I'm going to keep this here with where we're at. I don't think I'm going to add another player up on the board, but you guys can see kind of like just quickly scrolling where most of those pitchers are located. Most of them are in the West. That's what that scout's good at, so I'm just going to hold on and keep that there and continue to, again, just look at our outfielders. Do get a loss there against Cleveland on the 30th, but on the final day of the month, we do get a win against Kansas City as that series is starting. We are now a half a game back of the Southsiders, unfortunately, but again, I'm not too worried about it. I think we'll be just fine. As long as we can continue to stay the course, continue to get that good pitching, good bullpen, timely hitting, we'll be all right. Looking across our organization, just getting a little stats update. Marco Raya could be a little bit better. Kenry Rojas pitching fine. Dason Hill's doing well. Andrew Morris is doing really well. Really thinking about that Zebby Matthews call-up potentially. Like, his numbers are looking really good. He is on quite a bit of a hot streak right now, so it's nice to see him kind of getting into the groove a little bit down there in the minors. Maybe that's good for a September call-up. Eudis Castro is struggling right now. He is hitting below 200. But in recent weeks, recent games, he has been picking that up just a little bit, just a touch. He's in the 210s in the last couple of games, but hopefully maybe a platoon will work better for him, because we do have Moises Ballesteros who can hit righties a lot better than Castro can. So maybe we can use those guys as a first base platoon, and maybe that will help Castro's progression and his numbers, because 190 is just not going to cut it after the first couple of months of the season. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So Castro will hit against left-handers. He'll be the starting first baseman against lefties. And then Ballesteros will be the starting first baseman against righties. And then whenever one of those guys are not playing, like, that could present us a good opportunity for pinch hitting situations, right? They want to put in a reliever on as a righty, then we'll just swap Castro out for Ballesteros and mix and match that way. Now for pitching staff, I think I'm good with where we're at. I really like the Joe Ryan Lopez 1-2 punch, then Ober as a 3. That's where I think he is. Bradley's getting some nice progression now as an 82. And you got Henriquez with a 103 and a .91 whip. That is awesome. Love to see that. That's exactly what we needed. We needed a more electric shutdown closer. I like it. Now with our AAA system, the St. Paul Saints, I'm a little disappointed in Kalen Culpepper. I thought those numbers, I'm like waiting for him to get the call up, but if he's going to perform like that, I can't really justify the call up, and I don't really know where to play him if Brooks Lee continues to produce. Now at the top of the order here with the AA system, we've got Kendall George hitting 202, 203. It's not good enough. Like, he's got to work on that if he wants to be a true leadoff hitter, but that's why he's down there in the minors. 209 for Merrick Houston. Again, his hit tool's not the best. It's not what he's known for. He's more of a defensive shortstop, and that's fine, but that's why you're down there. You got to work on those things. So our next bit of gameplay action is actually going to be for this one. We've got Taj Bradley against the New York Mets. 34-29 New York Mets. We are 2 games better than they are. And despite all of that, they're 3rd in the NL East, which means the NL East is a dogfight out there. But that's definitely good enough to be a NL wildcard team. So just like our matchup against the Dodgers, this is going to be a test. It's going to be a bar test for us. How do we fare against a tough opponent like the New York Mets. However, we do get a favorable pitching matchup as Taj Bradley's pitching very well with a 2.61 and a 104 whip against Tyler McGill, who's 1-6. So I do like our odds here. First batter up is Francisco Alvarez. He's leading off. That is an interesting decision for the New York Mets, but, you know, they're the Mets. They do some interesting things. We do get one out. Larnach makes a nice play in left. Juan Soto batting in the 2-hole will draw a walk. So Bradley does get one up, one down, but can't seem to find the control against Juan Soto. Don't really blame him. He's not the worst guy in the world to walk, but Walker Jenkins drops the baseball. It was in his glove. He had the out. Oh, man. Is that going to be registered as an error? No, it will be a double. That's a fair double. Next batter up is Mark Vientos. We're going to challenge him here inside, but it does get way too much of the plate. Right down Broadway, literally in New York. Mets are going to get 2 runs here. That sucks. We could add 1 run score. You know, if Jenkins just makes that catch and right, I think we're all right. But now we get a 2-2 count. Bo Bichette goes the other way. Very good approach. We'll see if they test the arm of Jenkins in the relay. They won't. But it will be a double. It's still 2-0. 1 down. 11th double now for Bichette. Next batter up is Francisco Lindor, who lines it right in front of Larnach. They won't test the throw coming in. It's now 3-0. Mets after a Lindor base hits. 0-0 count here to Luis Robert. Line drive right past Ballesteros, and that's going to score another run. Still 1 out. We cannot find a way. It seems like they're on everything Bradley's got so far. We're throwing curveballs, we're throwing change-ups, we're throwing anything and everything, but they're on them. You just can't throw anything, it seems. First pitch hacking, all that stuff. Sliders. Luckily for Brett Beatty, he takes this one for once. Polanco, Bichette, Lindor, everybody, and he takes this one. Another strike. Fastball. Let's challenge him here. 0-2 pitch, and Beatty didn't want it, so he was apparently looking for something other than the fastball there. Bradley gets a strikeout. 2-2 pitch here to Ewing. Fly ball there to center field. Buxton's got this one, and that is finally the end of the first inning. So we'll go now to the top of the second with 1-2 on Walker Jenkins. Fly ball to center, and that's going to do it for the Twins. Half of the second inning. So not a great start by Minnesota. We'll jump now to the bottom of the second, and Jorge Polanco goes deep, and I have no idea how he pulled that baseball. That was a pitch on the outer half of the plate. We went out and got it, pulled it for power. Goodbye baseball, 5-0 New York. Vientos, ground ball here with 2 down. Brooks Lee's got it, makes the throw, and we are out of the second. So again, Bradley giving up more runs, and we can't seem to figure out Tyler McGill, although maybe we have an opening here. Top of the third, 1 down. Caratini draws a base on balls thanks to the hit by pitch, and then we got Trevor Larnach, deep drive to center. Robert's a very good fielder. He's going to let this one get over his head, and we are not going to challenge it with Caratini's 10 speed. Even though the throw missed the relay, we just got to stay in the ball game as much as we can. Here's Byron Buxton. Line drive right to Bichette. And, of course, even with 99 speed, Buxton can't get down to first quick enough. He hit it too hard. And Bichette just stuck his glove out there and made a play. Of course, you can't even go on contact, especially when it's hit directly to the third baseman, because you also don't have any speed at third with Caratini. So we'll now jump here to Royce Lewis. Line drive right to Brett Beatty at second. And the Twins are just getting a little unlucky right here. At least that's how I feel. I'm getting a little unlucky. Bottom of the third, man at first. We've got Brett Beatty stepping up. Byron Buxton in the gap makes the catch at the warning track. That's why you have a Byron Buxton. You pay him a bunch of dollars to go out there and make those types of plays. Paul DeJong here in the top of the fourth, getting a base hit on a full count. 2-0 pitch here to Brooks Lee, and a double play ball. I swear, it's even with good timing on a fastball, we cannot seem to hit for some power. Drive the baseball. Here's Luke Keishall. 0-2. Again, good timing on a fastball. Line drive to center field. No breaks for the Twins. 0-2 pitch here to A.J. Ewing. He's going to take the fastball. Nice and high. Third strikeout there for Bradley. He's still out there, still navigating through this Mets lineup here. Francisco Alvarez, 0 for 1 here in the ballgame. Nice little cut fastball there. I don't think he was expecting that. Just trying to get him off of certain pitches, certain locations. I think Bradley's really figured that out in the last couple of innings. And a ground ball there from Alvarez to shortstop. Brooksley makes the play. A walk from Soto in his last at-bat. He takes this one, and now we got the Soto shuffle. And you know what? Bradley doesn't, he's a gamer, he's a competitor, he doesn't like that. We're challenging him right here. Fastball high and inside, and we mislocate, but we get the K anyway. So go shuffle your way into the dugout there, Juan. Goodbye. Walker Jenkins. I'm not sure what's up with that camera angle, but we got a base hit. 1-1 pitch. Jenkins is on with a single by Esteros. Little chopper right above McGill's head. And we got another knock. All right. Again, on 1-1 counts. I love it. 1-2 pitch here to Caratini. That's a base hit. We're not going to test it, though. Good arm in right field. We're not going to test it. So base is loaded. And that is actually going to signal the end for Tyler McGill. Manager has seen enough. Remember, McGill is 1-6. He's got a high ERA. So with Jonah Tong coming on, so if any of these runs score, it's going to be assigned to McGill. Here's a base hit. Trevor Larnach steps up. First pitch hacking right through the hole. Love it. Twins are back in the ballgame here. Down by 4. Hey, a grand slam will tie the game up. Byron Buxton can do just that. 1-2 on Buxton. Here's the pitch, and oh, man. That was a good slider. Not going to lie. That really fooled Buxton right there. Cough, cough, wink, wink, me. But, you know, for immersion purposes, it was all Byron Buxton. It's all Buxton. Royce Lewis, a little fly ball here, and we've got 3 fielders converging. Oh, what a play out there by Lindor. We're going to test the throw. Here's Ballesteros. Gets gunned out at home. What a play by Francisco Lindor. The Twins cannot capitalize on a bases-loaded situation. We'll take one more look at it. He is way out in the outfield and makes an absolute dime of a throw to get Ballesteros by maybe a hand. Unbelievable throw. The Mets definitely navigated through that little jam, and they earned to get out of that for sure. Twins, we got to be better with runners in scoring position. Just have to. Bichette gets a base hit. 1-2 count here to Lindor. He's already got a home run here. That might be a setup pitch. Actually, I kind of like that idea. Little cut fastball inside. Let's go fastball in, and yeah, that was tying them up in knots. Lindor goes down swinging. 3-2 pitch here to Keyshaw. He's going to draw a walk, a 2-out walk. Tong was cruising in the 6th, but now we have a runner on, and now Walker Jenkins, base hit. That's going to go all the way into the gap. Keyshaw rounding third, headed for home. Here comes the throw. No throw. No throw from Lindor. I think I probably would have tried it if I was Lindor. I probably would have, just to see if I could nail another runner. Ballesteros comes up. Another big knock for him. Here comes the throw from Robert. Not going to be in time. Another ribby for the Twins in this inning. It is now 5-3. Good approach, good swing from Moises. And that's going to do it for Tong. We'll see who they're going to bring back in now. It is Tobias Myers. 4.23 ERA, strikeout rate close to 17%. Not terrible, but he doesn't strike out enough guys. Caratini grounds out, and that's just what the doctor ordered if you're a Mets fan in this fake universe. We're going to go to the bottom of the 6th. 1-2 count on Robert. Swung and a miss. Another fastball. Bradley's got that fastball working for him. A couple strikeouts off that pitch in the last couple of innings. Brett Beatty steps in. 1-1 pitch here in the 6th. Little ground ball there to first. Ballesteros has got that one. Bradley's been cruising after those 5 earned runs coming across there in the early part of the game. Ewing, curveball, swung on and missed. We do have one more bear down, so we're going to use it right here. This could be Bradley's last batter. He got him swinging off the fastball. Again, Bradley just leaning on that pitch to get him through the last couple of innings. Let's jump to the top of the 7th. 2 outs here, and Royce Lewis steps up big one more time. Solo shot off a slider that Myers put pretty much right where he wanted to. Outside half of the plate, and Lewis just pulled it. It was like a Jorge Polanco home run from earlier. Look at that's like what he wanted to do to Lewis as he did to DeYoung to get that strikeout. That's where he wanted that slider, I guarantee it. But Lewis put it in the seats, and DeYoung did not. Let's jump now to the bottom of the 7th. Jojo Romero is going to come on out. First pitch upcoming now to Francisco Alvarez, who is, again, in that leadoff spot. Kind of funny, and what a play by Royce Lewis. Man, he's having such a great year. Flashing the leather. Coming up big in the batter's box. I love it. Love it so much. We need a big performance from Roy Lewis. Second half of the season. How about Juan Soto? Ground ball here, pulled to Keyshaw. Out number 2. Again, Jojo Romero, I trust him. Trust his ability to pitch contact. Is not going to get a lot of strikeouts, but he's a guy that I do like in these high leverage situations, and he gets another out here as Larnach ranges to go get this one. That's out number 3. So we'll now jump to the top of the 8th. Time is running out for the Twins. We are down by 1 run. We need some base runners here. 1-2 pitch. We'll take that. Little hit by pitch for Brooks Lee. Next batter up is Luke Keyshaw. Gets a slider right down the middle. Goodbye baseball. 2-run home run for Luke Keyshaw. The Twins will take the lead 6-5. What an amazing swing that was from Keyshaw. You love to see it, that we're finally getting the timing down for his power to start coming around. Been getting a lot of opposite field base hits into the right field gap, right center. Kind of where I've been living with Luke Keyshaw. So to get a home run, to hit for some power with him, I know that's going to come in his game. That's a really good sight to see, and especially that clutch home run like that. Love that. So now for the Mets, they're going to go with Devin Williams and Juan Soto in left field. Oh, man. They have 2 outs. They got Jenkins to strike out against Clevenger. Now they go with Williams to go get Caratini. Soto can't make the play. Larnach makes him pay. You don't make the play, we make you pay. Goodbye baseball. Another 2-run shot for the Twins. We'll extend that lead out. It is now 8-5. Oh, man. Where did this come from? Game against the Dodgers. Scored some runs with the long ball. We're getting the long ball working here in Queens. Awesome. Well, let's jump now to the bottom of the 8th. We've got Brooks Raley taking the mound, and that one is gone. You know, I was going to say I thought this game was over when we were down 5-0. Bradley comes back, fighting back. I love the fight that we have and we're showing, the resiliency. It's now 8-6. Raley does get a strikeout against Robert Jr., so that helps. So now we'll turn here to the top of the 9th with Brian Hudson taking the mound, the left-hander. Royce Lewis steps up and sends another deep drive. Another fastball right down the middle for him. Is that one got enough? It does. It's just over the wall. Solo shot for Royce Lewis. He's got 2 homers in this game, making it 9-6, and that is all that we're going to get in this inning. But we will now jump to the bottom of the 9th. Brooks Raley still out there, and that is going to do it for his outing. He seems a little disappointed because he did give up a double, but he did get that ground out. Now, that's fine. We're going to turn to our perfect closer. 18 opportunities, 18 saves. Henriquez has not blown a save in this entire season. We get a nice ground ball there for Lewis. That's 2 outs, and now we got to go get Juan Soto. Up by 3. This is huge for Henriquez and the Twins, and we get him to pop up. Keyshaw's under it, and look at the passion right there. Let's go. Twins get a W, and that one was a comeback for the ages right there. Whew. 13 hits, 9 runs, 10 hits for the Mets with 6 runs. Romero will get the win, although Bradley struggled in the first 2 innings. Got us down by 5, but he got us to come back. That's worth something. It's got to be worth something. Like I mentioned, I'm really liking the fight that this team is showing. Not giving up, right? Probably saw a lot of that in Season 1. Now in Season 2, it's a completely different Twins team. So as we jump ahead here to more scouting, just taking a look at some of our outfielders and our progress being made with our pitchers, with scouting percentages here. Got a lot of 25% up there. So a lot of 5s, a lot of 10s, guys that we're not really focusing on. But I'm gonna keep the status quo going for one more week. See where we're at. Texas is gonna get the Pasquatch from the Royals. They also get Kumar Rocker in that trade. Continue to sim. We are 40-29. And it looks like I did make a change here. So we're looking at Boone Daniels, a starting pitcher. He's a lefty. So I like my lefties. Changed it up to focus on some infielders as well. Big trade here for the Brewers. They get Cole Reagans for a pretty decent haul. A lot of B potential players there for the Royals. So the Royals seem like they're selling. We have 42 wins now as we continue to sim. Boone Daniels. I just really don't like that potential range. We got 85% scouted, but he could be between a 73 and a 91. That's a little too big in my opinion. Like that range is too huge to take a chance on you. Like you're actually pretty highly ranked for the first round, but I don't think I can take a guy like that. I need a little bit more of a sure thing when we got a top 10 draft pick. So looking across the board here, again, looking at our starters, we got a lot of 25%, 38% there for Yusniel Vasquez. We got Forrest Burt at 10. MLB rank is 5th. We like him currently at 9. And I look at that control of what it could be in the present, in the stamina, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe we want to focus on him individually. Maybe Yusniel Vasquez because he's got more pitches. I do like pitchers that have more of a repertoire than just guys with a 3-pitch mix like Burt here, but I mean, he's a good pitcher. Like, I can't deny that. So we'll put him up on the board. We'll also change some of our scouting there with positions and location. And again, looking at some outfielders here like Andres Chavez. Really good fielder. A lot of speed. Big arm. Potentially a guy that I want to put on the board individually. Maybe this guy, Jess Kincaid. This guy kind of reeks of those D potential guys that are like ready to contribute right now. So I just still want to scout him just to see what he's all about because his overall says that he's going to be pretty good, but that potential is what I'm worried about. Josh Hader gets traded from the Astros to the Reds. Looks like the Reds are kind of making a push and the Astros are selling. Continuing our sim here, we are now up to 45 wins on the year. And then for Jess Kincaid, 69 potential to 74, but that overall rating is really, really enticing. His reaction is enticing. His contact is enticing. Everything about this player is enticing. Like, that overall rating is very good, but that potential kind of scares me a little bit. If he's a C, that's great. If he's a D, not great. Don't like that. Like, he might end up regressing faster than he progresses, so that's a little concerning. But Forrest Burt looks fine to me. Again, like 3-pitch mix, not super impressed with that, but if you're a good pitcher at the end, who might argue against it, right? How about this guy, Michael Blair, 5-pitch mix. Like that idea. Don't really have him scouted whatsoever. Let's just put him on individually. We're at week 13 of 14, so we got to start kind of narrowing this list down. And again, kind of that's my strategy. That's how I just go about scouting, is I like to look at everybody on the whole and then get a better idea of who I want to target. And especially if there's guys like these catchers like Ricky Ridley and Baladeras, guys that, they're in positions where there's not a ton of them there. Like, if we can kind of limit those guys down and I want to focus on those guys individually, like, I'll take my shot there too. Like Howard Kingman, guy that we scouted up quite a bit, it looks like. Got a lot of information on him. This is a pretty good range. 35%, 20%. I'm good with that because then I can kind of look and see, like, what guy am I interested in and do I want to know more about you in an individual scouting session, right? And you got Josh Lynch here. You got Theo Green. I don't know, not much there. You got some C to potentially B potentials there. Like, maybe I know enough about you to take you in like round 5, round 6 potentially. But I look across the way like this dude, Sean Harding, 80 to 99. I'm glad that we didn't spend time looking at positions for third base West, because now I can really scout you up to 90% and get you potentially fully scouted by the time that the draft happens. So I really want to know more about that guy because the potential is so high. Anyway, that's just kind of how I go about it. Hope you guys are cool with that because I don't think I'm going to really change how I go about scouting. Unless you guys have better ideas, you let me know in the comment section. So as we sim ahead, we are now in the month of July.
we are almost ready for the draft. We got some notifications across our organization. We got Kendry Rojas pitching well. Alberto Blanco is pitching very, very well. I'm impressed with our pitchers, man. I'm really happy with how things are looking here. Zebby Matthews continues to do well. Again, Kendry Rojas had a microscopic ERA in the month of June. I think he was like 0.47. He's now up to a 70 overall, which is pretty good. I think I might end up calling him up September call-up potentially. I think the Twins actually just called him up in real life in 2026 here. And they're also looking at Connor Prelip. So those guys are moving on up the board. I wish the show could kind of capture some of these players like meteoric rise in organizations, but seed potentials will do that to you. Dason Hill getting some nice progression there. Andrew Morris, Christian McLeod, Alberto Blanco. There's his numbers up on the board. He was a 65 overall, now up to a 66. And he's, again, pitching very well. I like his numbers. A lot of good numbers right there. 6 strikeouts, 4 strikeouts, 5, 7, 8. Look at that ERA. He's killing it. He's killing it down there. Sergio Sanchez kind of struggling just a touch. Mario Fernandez down in single A. Little progression there as a 22-year-old. Philip Yamashita from a 59 to a 61. I'll take that. I think I'm just going to keep Yamashita down in single A for a little bit. Need that overall to get up there a little bit. I don't want him to come up into the minor leagues and just struggle. 80s Castro up to 218. Now with 10 home runs, he's reached double digits. So I think the split platoon on the strong side there against left-handers, Ballesteros against righties. I think that's working for both of them. Royce Lewis continues to hit well. He's up to 283. Brooks Lee, I like the average this year. He was kind of in the dumps a little bit last year. Kalen Culpepper up to a 69. Again, B potential for Culpepper, but he's hitting 205. Like I just need him to hit a little bit more. You need to show me that you're not a Ryan Kreidler, okay? I need you to hit for average if you're going to be a shortstop here for us. You're going to take Brooks Lee's spot. You need to be producing in that way. Walker Jenkins, Byron Buxton. I was kind of hoping Jenkins' batting average would be a little bit better than it is, but it is what it is. He's only a 1-year pro at this point. Manuel Rodriguez doing all right. Kendall George up from a 68 to a 69, so he's continuing to progress. He's now gotten that batting average up to a 231 average, where it was about a 200 last month. So overall, I think that our minor leaguers, our prospects are doing well. Our major leaguers are obviously producing at a high level and a competent level, I should say, for some, a high level for others. But overall, it's our pitching staff that's really driving us. And we just got to look across the league here and see what moves can we possibly make to continue this run that we've got. I'm striving to make the postseason. I know that might not be realistic in some terms, in some senses, but we made some decent improvements to our roster in the offseason. I think that rebuilt bullpen definitely helps. And, of course, getting Pablo Lopez back from Tommy John surgery definitely helps us a lot in that regard. But looking across the league, you've got some sellers here. Astros are sellers. The Orioles might be sellers. So I'm trying to look at some trades potentially for those squads there in the AL. I don't think the Yankees would make sense for Ryan Weathers. Like Roki Sasaki potentially being traded. I know he's got some struggles of his own, but he might be a guy that, even though he's an 81 overall and you're paying him starter money, he might be a guy that we would just say, you know what, Roki, like you're good to go back into the bullpen. Like I want you to be kind of a setup guy, like a middle reliever. Like I want you to get some more exposure, get an inning here, an inning or two here and there, instead of like go out there, give us 6. Like it's kind of hard for a guy with not a lot of control. We can work on it. And that might be a potential guy that we go after. But a guy that I am interested in is Colton Gordon. He kind of do both. He's more of a flex guy than a Roki Sasaki would be. At least that's how the Astros like to use Colton Gordon. He's more of an opener. He can be a middle reliever, that type of thing. Left-hander, like we always need that type of arm. And he's not even really that old. Like 28 C potential, 71. I'm going to offer him Billy Amick and Byron Trurio. They don't take this, so that's rejected. Astros apparently need just a little bit more in their rebuilding efforts. Now, this one was interesting. Cade Smith going to the Blue Jays for a prospect that was just drafted by Cleveland a year ago. So the show and the CPU, they love making those types of trades. They just trade away guys that they just drafted. It's interesting. So we'll up the offer a little bit. We'll keep Amick and Winokur and actually Churio. We'll add Winokur onto the mix there, but they still say no. I just guess they just don't like the D potential guys here. But I don't want to overpay for a guy like Colton Gordon. So I think talks with the Astros are officially over. Now with our updated scouting, we do get a really good idea on Sean Harding. I think I really want to take this guy if he's available with where we're at. I do update the board there for a couple of other prospects that I'm interested in, and we're going to continue on with our sim. Now, the Tigers apparently are selling too. So they sell Framber Valdez to the Braves, and they get a nice haul back with some prospects. And now we're here. We will get the draft going here tonight. So those of you guys that stuck around in this video, this long video, 40 plus minutes, we got the draft. So let's get it underway, man. Derek Cortez is the #1 draft pick for the Detroit Tigers. #2 overall will go to the Rockies, Richie Latch, which is very interesting. We're going to show his overall and his potential here after the draft concludes and we got all of our picks signed up. But let's just say this. He's a very, very good player and somebody that we're going to have to worry about. Now, this was a guy, Chris Monzo, that I was eyeing. I was hoping that potentially he could fall. This Kai Siddiqui guy was a bust. So Cleveland gets a little screwed there at #5, which I'm okay with that, especially with them being an AL Central opponent. Now, for available players that we've got up on our board, Jared Horn he's kind of the obvious pick here. But I don't really want to take a starting pitcher here. I don't want to be forced into taking a guy like that. Something about it. Like, we need some positional guys. We might need to take Forrest Burt. Seems like he's got a good potential. 90% scouted. Like, that would be a for sure thing. But again, the 3-pitch mix, man, it's bugging me a little bit. Michael Blair's up here too. But that potential range from 74 to 92, like, that tells me he could probably be a B. Damian Rickles, a first baseman. Like, we already took Aedes Castro, first round last year. Boone Daniels, again, that range is a little too much for me. And then scrolling through other players here, we're starting to get into the 20s in the rank for our board, and that's just a little too much of a leap, if you will, especially with where we're at here with #10. I'm thinking about potentially reaching for Ward Schultz, but that overall matches the potential. That's a little concern for me. Frank Hamilton, guy that we might want to look at here in round 2. Howard Kingman, he's not ranked on a lot of MLB big boards. The fact that he's 29th for us, we might be able to kind of get sneaky and take him a little later. Now, Jose Navarro, this guy's a little interesting to me. Yes, he's a 3-pitch pitcher, but we like him at 5th, and we've only got him at 25% scouted. So I am taking quite a bit of a risk here, especially when we know we've got Boone Daniels sitting there. We've got Baladeras, the catcher. We've got Forrest Burt was sitting there at #8. So it wasn't really like that much of a difference between Burt or Navarro. But I went with a little bit of a risky pick there, and I took Navarro. Unfortunately for us, all of our other guys that we were looking at, they did get taken there in the first round. So no surprises that fell down to us. Now, Jared Horn, again, 40th ranked for MLB, but we really like him at 3. He's still sitting there. So we're kind of stuck again. Do I take the best pitcher available, or do I go with another positional guy? Because we need a positional guy. Like, I don't want to just be stuck taking pitchers every single draft. So I find this guy, Marshall Dunning, 70% scouted, 54th ranked. We're currently in the competitive balance round A. And he seems like more of a project hitter. Like, he'll be pretty solid. But that athleticism that he's got, I think he might be the pick. I mean, granted, Jared Horn is literally sitting there and staring us in the face. Like, normally you would take this guy, 3rd ranked in competitive balance round A. You do it, right? But again, I just don't want to get stuck with more pitchers. We already have good pitching at the major league level. We got good pitching in the minor league level. We took a bunch of pitchers in season 1's draft class. So there's a couple of different ways that we could go. And I think just to keep up with our goal for this draft class is to draft
a positional guy. And I think we get a good one here in Marshall Dunning. Yes, again, he is going to be more of a project hitter, but the defense is there, the speed, the athleticism is there. I think we can work on that, and he'll be a pretty solid contributor moving forward. Now for round 2, we've got the 47th pick, which all these guys up here on the board, I think that they'll be fine. But do I want to take Kingman here? He's currently rated 29th in our board, but he's not ranked at the Major League board. So now we're kind of getting into that situation, that area where do we, quote unquote, reach for that guy, or is another team, another 29 other teams in on Howard Kingman? Are we going to miss out? Again, looking at more outfielders here, because again, we spent a lot of time with those guys. McDonald looks like he's more of the polished hitter. Villafuerte is more of a polished defender. Can hit a little bit, not as well as McDonald, but each guy has their own strengths and weaknesses there. So I will end up going with Avery Cruz, just another catcher prospect that we can hope on down the road, because we do need a guy, potentially not Victor Caratini. And luckily for us, Howard Kingman is still sitting here, because I really like his offense. I like his bat. His defense, that'll be fine. It's competent on defense. But that hit tool is what I'm really looking at, so we'll go with him, and maybe he's a Kalen Culpepper replacement. I know that might be blasphemous for a lot of Twins fans out there, but in the show, in this series, Culpepper has struggled to hit. Now, we will take another pitcher. We'll take an outfielder here. Wimberly, he's got power. That's really what I really like about him. We got this guy, Ryan Reed, who's 68th on our board. I thought about possibly taking him, but again, we need more infielders. And I think Salvatore Rodriguez might be one of those guys that's more of a project infielder, but that's fine by me, because again, we do have Brooks Lee for a little while. We got Kingman now that we just drafted. We got Culpepper, right? So we got infielders that can kind of surround that guy, cushion that guy's development. And that way, if he is a bust, like, we don't feel as bad. But it's better to take a chance on some of those guys in round 5, round 6, and see what happens. But anyway, that's our draft. I'm actually more excited about this draft than I was in year 1 coming out of it, which is interesting to say, because year 1's draft class actually hit. Like, we did pretty well with a lot of those guys that we drafted. But yeah, season 2, I think we did pretty well. We'll see what happens when we get to reveal all their potentials and their overall ratings. But All-Star break is here. Home Run Derby, we had no one there, of course. Twins are not hitting for a lot of power individually. Joe Ryan was an All-Star. Edgardo Henriquez is an All-Star. And nobody else. So the Twins only have 2 representatives for the All-Star game. NL will win the All-Star game. So unfortunately for our Twins, we might not have done too much. Futures game, we got Philip Yamashita. We'll get the starting nod, actually, so that's pretty interesting. Looking at our hitters, Deacon Cantu was a guy that I remember wanting to draft. I don't think we had a chance at him. I believe he's for Toronto. Yeah, Toronto took him. We've got, let's see, Bruno Mora, the number 9 hole hitter there. Catcher was just traded from Cleveland. They took him in the draft last year. Now they traded him away. We got Gabriel Gonzalez making another appearance at the Futures game. I actually missed him in season 1's episode where we were looking at the Futures. I was like, yeah, we don't have anybody. No, Gabriel Gonzalez was there, so we just missed him. Simming ahead here, we are 57-50, still 7 games above 500, and now we're starting to get a little bit closer to the trade deadline. And I'm looking for, again, more of a bona fide power hitter that can be a DH. And I'm looking at Tyler O'Neill. 98 power against left-handers. Yes, please, come on over. Orioles are selling. They're looking for some young prospects, some young MLB. Let's be specific here. Team is seeking prospects and young major leaguers, bullpen and closers, and even right fielders. I'm offering Quinton Young and Bruin Agbayani, and then we'll offer a pitcher in here. It'll be CJ Culpepper, 25 years old, 68C. Like, how many more years of CJ Culpepper are we going to kind of wait on him, right? Are we going to move him to becoming a reliever? Like, do we see him as a starter? I think this is a good trade for us. It hurt me to give up Quinton Young. It hurt me to give up Bruin because they're so young, and like, they could blossom into like a potential bench guy or maybe even a starter, a solid starter one day down the road. But you know, we're in the mode for playoffs, so we got to make playoff moves, and that's a big one for us right there. A middle of the order bat like Tyler O'Neill, we can immediately upgrade our DH spot instead of Paul DeYoung and Lamont Wade Jr. and all this stuff. Like, now we got a bona fide DH, a true blue power hitting Tyler O'Neill at the DH spot. I love it. Like, against right-handers and against left-handers, O'Neill's our best bet. So I think that's an immediate upgrade. Hope you guys are liking that trade. It was a little trade, I think, but it's one that works for us, and I think it's gonna do wonders in the postseason push. I'm not gonna say we're gonna make the postseason because anything can happen, but you know, we'll see. Now, we do extend Pablo Lopez. He's been pitching so well and coming back from Tommy John. To be able to do what he's doing this year, I think it makes sense to extend him and not allow for those negotiations to happen in the offseason. So we'll also bring back Trevor Larnach. He's having a good year too. Short-term deal, not a long-term commitment, and we are 2-8 in our last 10 as we enter the month of August. Unfortunately for us, that's not good, but thinking positively as we head into the second half of the season. Look at that draft class. Booyah. Look at that draft class. Let's go. Jose Navarro is a B potential, 18 years old. That was one of the draws for me to take Navarro over Forrest Burt. He's got B potential, 60 overall. I think he's going to grow into it being a really, really nice addition for us. Now, Marshall Dunning, again, definitely going to be a project player. But at 56A, and he's got the athleticism, nice tools there, I think he's going to be fine. Avery Cruz, 52B catcher. This one kind of disappointed me, I'm not going to lie. Yes, he's 18. He's got a lot of room to grow. But, you know, the defense not really there. The hitting not really there either. He's a project catcher. Howard Kingman, probably, honestly, our best pick. He's got the offense. Defense is pretty serviceable as it is right now, but again, B potential, like, I think he'll be able to handle that. Brian Herrera, didn't talk too much about this guy, but, you know, he's got some room to grow too. And at 21, that B potential is going to help him grow a lot quicker. Orlando Wimberly, look at the art of the power. I mean, that's fine by me. 60 power, 61, and C potential. 18 years old. That's almost prodigious power. So I'm looking forward to Wimberly's progression. Then we got Salvatore Rodriguez. The speed's there. Defense, again, more of a project. Offense, more of a project. But, you know, the numbers are there. I think that's the best draft class in all the majors at that point. Like, I think our scouts did really well. We did really well. And as we just kind of moved through this very quickly, I saw Arlo McDonald, the guy that we were looking at, Woody Turner, guys that had B potentials there. Forrest Burt, so 22 years old. Look at the control rating. I don't know. Did we miss out on Forrest Burt? 6'1", lefty, 22 years old. 71B. And we took a guy that's 60B, but he's also 18 years old. So he's 4 years younger, right? So I think I like my guy long term. What do you guys think? Ward Schultz, immediate impact player already. He's a 70, what does that say? 78. He's a 78. Good offensive numbers, good defensive numbers. Like, he could play today, you know? The Mets had a good draft too. Steven Cairo's got an A potential down there. Jose Ramirez, not the Jose Ramirez, but another one. Jared Horn, B potential, 61. He's an 88 potential. Lexi Villafuerte, oh man, B potential, 53 overall. Yeah, a lot of C's in the NL Central. Then Richie Latch, there you go. 80 overall, 99 potential. He's a superstar in the making for the Rockies. And then they got Sean Harding in round number 2. So Harding for us probably should have been the pick in competitive balance round A. Maybe. So after looking at some of these teams here as we're quickly scrolling through, let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section. Did we hit on our draft, or were there other players here that you would have taken? Maybe other teams that you think did better than us? We were seriously considering this catcher Foster Balladares, so I'm lucky we missed out on that. Yuniel Vasquez seems like he would be a good player. Ray Serrano. You got Luis Baez, 99 potential, first baseman. Wow. Look at this guy. Sung Young Chen, 87 potential. Tigers, none of these guys we were ever looking at. Bobby Rodriguez, James Harris, no, none of those guys we were ever looking at. Joe Gardner, another good potential there with Dave Musial. Yeah, I don't know. We got a lot of B potentials, a lot of A's. Like, I think we did all right. Actually, we had one A, but everything else was B. A lot of those B guys are very, very close to being an A potential. So you know what? Maybe a couple extra pushes in their performance can get them up there. But guys, that's it for the video. Leave a like if you like this thing. Next time that I see you, we are going to continue our push to the AL Central title and a postseason appearance. We are 3-7 in our last 10. We take on the Orioles in this one. This will be Tyler O'Neill's sort of revenge game, if you will. But that's going to do it here for tonight. Again, leave a like if you like this thing. Let me know how you guys are thinking the season's going. Do you like the Tyler O'Neill trade? Do you like our draft class? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. As always, thank you so much for watching, and peace.